Oh, shit, like that.
Hello, thank you everyone for being here tonight. I'm now calling this March 11th meeting of the ASUO Senate to order. We will start with introductions, names, pronouns, and positions, starting with Senate Seat 1.
Hey guys, hope you all enjoy this beautiful sunny day. I'm Xander, PFC Senate Seat 1.
Hi, my name is Marisol, PFC Senate Seat 2 and PFC Chair. Yes.
Yes.
Hi guys, my name's Jess Fisher. I use they, she pronouns. I'm PFC Senate Seat 3.
William Taylor, I use him pronouns, and CSC, CSC.
I'm Piper Smith. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm C6 CFC.
I'm Sam. I use he, him pronouns, and C8 DFC.
Hey guys, my name is Bella. I use she, her pronouns. I'm DFC Senate Seat 9, and I'm also the DFC Chair. Hi, I'm Olivia Heffernan. I use she, her pronouns. I am DFC Seat 10.
Hi, my name is Ivana Bondier. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm Senate Seat 11.
Hello, my name is Zoe Jenkins Hiscox. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm Senate Seat 12.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cole Stevenson. I use he, him pronouns, and I am Senate Seat 15, representing the School of Psychology, as well as being the Academic Committee Chair.
Hi, my name is Ami Purdue. I use she, her pronouns. I'm Seat 16, representing the School of Dance Psychology Discipline.
Hi, I'm Alexander Giovanni. I use they, them pronouns. I hold Senate Seat 17. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Luke Merrill, Seat 19.
My name is Bridget Madariaga. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm Senate Seat 21.
I'm Sarah Quetzalberry. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm Senate Seat 23, representing Guam.
My name is Abby.
Hi, my name is Erin Ludeman. I use she, her pronouns. I'm Senate Seat 20 in the deputies.
My name is Quaitro Gill. I use he, him pronouns. I am Senate Seat 7, CFC, and I'm Senate Speaker.
Max Jensen, he, him pronouns. I'm his Vice President.
And can Senator please read the land acknowledgement? Senator Smith.
The University of Oregon is located on Kalapuya Lihi, the traditional indigenous homeland of the Kalapuya people. Following treaties between 1851 and 1855, Kalapuya people were dispossessed of their indigenous homeland by the United States government and forcibly removed to the Coast Reservation, Western Oregon. Today, Kalapuya descendants are primarily citizens of the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde and the Confederated Tribes of Siletz Indians, and they continue to make important contributions to their communities, to the UO, to the lands known as Oregon, and to the world. Following the Indigenous Protocol of acknowledging the original people of the land we occupy, we also extend our respect to the 9 federally recognized Indigenous nations of Oregon: the Burns Paiute Tribe, the Confederated Tribes of the Coast, Lower Umpqua and Siuslaw Indians, the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde, the Confederated Tribes of Siletz Indians, the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation, the Confederated Tribes of Warm Springs, the Coquitlam Indian Tribe, the Cow Creek Banded Umpqua Tribe of Indians, and the Klamath Tribes. We express our respect to the many more tribes who have ancestral connections to this territory, including the Chinook Indian Nation and Fort McDermott Paiute and Shoshone tribes, as well as to all other people.
And by the way, the mics are working. They're working on Zoom, but they're not amplifying voice. If anybody's having a hard time hearing, just let me know. I will now read the ASUO mission statement. The purpose of ASUO is to provide for the social, cultural, educational, and physical development of its members, group of students, and for the advancement of individual and collective interests, both within and within the university. And then next we'll move to the agenda. Secretary Peters.
To approve the agenda, Secretary Trump.
Motion made by Peters, seconded by motion made by Peters, seconded by Questenberry. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. And the agenda is now approved. Moving into announcements. Announcements. Senator Stevenson.
Yep. So tomorrow the BCC is hosting game night. It is spades. They're teaching anyone who doesn't know how to play. And on Friday, LMA is hosting soccer at 7:30. Please pull up if you're interested. Thank you, I yield.
Stevenson and anyone else with Senator Peters.
We're talking about this in my updates too, but Cleo White is hosting its 51st annual luau on May 2nd. Tickets just went on sale last week. You should grab them while you can. It's $20 for students. You get a meal, you get a great show. I would really, really love to see each and every single one of y'all there. So 51st annual luau is going to be that court Saturday, May 2nd.
Thank you, Senator Peters. And then we also have Osborne here today.
All right, I can talk loud. I have just two quick updates for today. Hi, Sophia with Osborne again. First things first, you guys have been hearing about this from me quite a bit, I'm sure, but we are hosting the first ever Oregon Youth Food Waste Summit this Saturday at the EMU. Just a little bit of brief background, right? We're organizing this event as just one of the many tactics. One, to just educate the public really broadly about the problem of waste and how it intersects with issues like hunger in our state. But then also build a lot of momentum and support for this to turn itself into a really key issue amongst key elected officials like Representative Mark Gamba and members of the Oregon legislature. If we want to get our food waste bill to the place in 2027 that's going to take to show our state leaders that this is a really key priority, we just need to elevate this to a pretty high issue level. And so we've been organizing here at the U of O and all across the state to do that. This Food Waste Summit is one tactic we have for doing that. So we'll have Representative Gamba, representatives from Senator Courtney Nira-Misselin's office, two key people for the bill, coming to talk to students about work to end food waste in Oregon. So I want to use it as an opportunity to, one, just have a fun day where we're learning more about the problems and solutions around food waste, but then two, showing our elected officials that this is something that has just a diverse group of people really into. So young people, different coalition partners from across the state, different community members, and more. So we're hosting a summit on Saturday here at the EMU at 10 a.m. So a couple of program highlights. Representative Mark Gimbo will be our keynote speaker. We'll have representatives from different industry and coalition groups like Recology and different community groups all across the state area. There will be a student panel, advocacy panels, and opportunities to meet with people in the space and show your support for this issue. So anyone that is interested is welcome to join. Sam can send the program agenda in your guys' chat where you can learn more about some of the workshops and panels that will be happening, and hope to see all of you guys there. And then the second thing, really quick, sorry, is that we're in the midst of launching our campaign selection process for our fall 2026 campaigns. So we just made live a survey that we're sending out to different student organizations, sending out to our campus list of students, want to send to you guys as well, to have folks weigh in on some of the biggest issues facing our campus that we might work on in the fall. So please, if you have a couple of minutes, fill that survey out. It's really helpful for us as we're getting a sense of what the public really cares about on campus. And students will use that information to help us identify a set of the campaigns that we'll be running in the fall and that they'll propose to organize around this upcoming year. So Sam's gonna send both of those things in the chat. Thank you guys, and let me know if you guys have any questions.
Thank you so much, Sophia. I will definitely be there on Saturday, so I encourage all of you all to pull up. And then next we'll move into public forum. Does anybody want to speak to public forum? All right, I'll let Aaron introduce our guest today.
Okay, so last Thursday, myself, Senator Madariaga, and Senator Perdue had the opportunity to speak with Steve Mattal and Aaron Wilson about the area outdoor classroom and river access project that they're working on. They gave us a tour, and now Steve is here to tell all of you guys more about this project in more detail. So Steve.
Thank you.
Do I stand here?
Yeah, please. You can also grab the mic. I think that one's working, but it's for Zoom. the most part.
Yeah, okay. And Erin, I think you have a.
Yes.
And the mic does come off, if that's easier for you.
You can just let me know when you want to.
Alrighty. Is there any way we can close whatever blind it is that's casting all the light, or maybe we can't?
I don't think there is a way. The blind is technically shut. It's just not.
All right, well, that's how it is. All right, well, as first off, thanks to Erin for inviting me and giving me a little bit of time. As she said, I'll just reintroduce myself. I'm Steve Mattel. I'm your sustainability director. I've been here a long time at the University of Oregon. We, in the sustainability office, offer a bunch of programs that benefit students and faculty and the community, right? Largely, we're focused on energy, on decarbonization, energy efficiency is one big area of focus. Another is on waste management, recycling. And the third I'm kind of here is what I'm mostly here to talk about, and that's this Willamette River natural area. So most of you probably know, right? The river's only a hop, skip, and a jump, a quarter mile that way. So sort of a beautiful chunk of land. About a handful of years ago, 3-4 years ago, we went through a major rezoning initiative with our riverfront property, right? So if you look at that aerial shot there, it's a little bit washed out. You can't see the river so well itself, but it's down there in the kind of the faded out area. And then you see the land there, right, with the green grass, and you see the bike path kind of bisecting it. Everything from the bike path to the river is now designated as part of the Willamette River Natural Area. And that adds up to, it's like a mile of riverfront property and about 24 acres of property never to be developed, right? So it's been set aside by the institution, and you see there its goals or its purpose is for restoration, engagement is the second area, and research. And mostly I'm here to talk about this really awesome engagement opportunity I want to make you all aware of. I'll spend a moment or two giving you a sense of the other two goals that we have. So I get Erin, yeah, move forward. So we have already won. We have a steward. Her name is Emily Hamblin. She's fantastic. She's been here a couple of years, and she's already won a bunch of grants, a lot of money. She's bought 500 trees, and we planted a majority of them with about 80 student volunteers. So you kind of get a feel for that out there on the Willamette River National Area. A few weeks ago, actually, right? So we have a 15-year plan to totally restore it back to a place that can support a wide range of native flora and fauna. So there's a lot of activity going on in that regard, not just planting new things, but ripping out invasive species, a whole bunch of things. You can advance the slide. Next. A lot of engagement and research happening with U of O classes. So this guy here is actually doing a really cool project. He's inserting these acoustic boxes, I can't think of the right word for them, in a bunch of trees. And so they are now recording bats and other kinds of birds, and those recordings are being translated into data and being used by faculty and students on campus. That's just one example. There's a dozen, or so research projects that faculty and students are engaged in, and you can get a sense of some of the classes that were involved this year. But again, mostly that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm really here to talk about sort of, don't move it forward just yet, but this new opportunity that we have. When we put the Willamette River Natural Area Plan together a few years ago, that kind of marked out where we're going to do restoration, where there's going to be opportunities for research, that kind of thing. A chunk was set aside for essentially like recreation, right? And we knew that, and the main thing that was going on is that we're aware, right, that we have this incredible river and no easy way to get to it, right? You can see it from the bridge. You can kind of get out there on the grass, but you're going to get, buried in blackberries and all that kind of thing pretty quick. You can't very easily get down to the river from the U of O side of the river. And so we put money into developing a concept to build a river access and an outdoor classroom. We spent about $50,000 of U of O money to develop a very high level concept, right? So the way these things go is that's what you do. You get a small group of stakeholders together. We brought the ASUO president at the time, a couple of years ago, and we brought folks from the outdoor program, some different faculty, a couple students to advise us on this very broad level concept. And the idea is that you need some pictures and a basic sense of what it could look like and what it might cost, and then you take that out to everybody on campus. So that's what I'm here doing tonight. And if folks start to get excited about it, then you spend a bunch more money on a big, public engagement component that will refine that quite a bit, right, from where it is now, and then continue into what they call like design documents that you can actually use to construct. So this is a high level thing, not meant to be the final, but I want to show you where we got so far. So yeah, Aaron, if you move the slide. So very broadly, right, aerial photograph, you kind of just to orient yourself, right, you kind of barely see the Frohnmeyer Bridge there on the upper right, and you see the big green area, right, where the Willamette River Natural Area is now, and you can't see so well, but we're going to zoom in just a moment. There would be, right, that amphitheater that you kind of see situated in the center, and a pathway, several pathways down to a riverfront area that you could launch boats from, then you could go down with your dog and skip rocks, you could just hang out and meditate. A little dock there that can get you out onto the water a bit. So I think if you hit the next one, it'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, so just zooming in to give you a little bit better sense. The information that we got and the feedback we got from the faculty and students that we assembled said, hey, we want an outdoor classroom that's covered. It should accommodate, roughly a max of like 40 people, to the extent that you can sort of shelter it from the sound of the train tracks, right, which can be pretty loud when trains go by. So it's actually set below that grade, and it's got that covering from behind to reduce that sound, and it looks right out onto the river. And we want it to be multi-purpose. You want to be able to host a concert from the music school or a dance performance, but also an outdoor or a classroom should be able to go out there. The outdoor program barn should be able to assemble a group that they want to do a kayak, role class with. I mean, so it's multi-purpose at the point. Local folks should be able to rent it in the summer for, Shakespeare in the Park, right? Just kind of giving you a broad sense. So it's designed initially with that in mind. And then you can see, right, there's a range of paths. There's sort of a steeper path that drops down. What you can't see right here is there's an accessible path that takes that kind of wider route just so that it's not nearly as steep, but also ends up back down there at that boat ramp. It's designed for small craft, right? At least at this point in time. So things you would carry in on your shoulder, like a stand-up paddleboard or a kayak. There's not access for it to drive a boat, to back a trailer down and drop a motorboat. It's not designed. It's meant to be simple. A lot of folks who've been down there before, you'll know that just downstream, right there's that little bit of rack. So we imagine lots of folks would want to bring stand-up paddleboards, inner tubes, whatever, kayaks, and kind of surf those waves, or hang out in this calm area. It's designed to be in that area that's really calm and flat, so you can get in the water there, wade with your dog, whatever it is, without fear of getting washed downriver. So that's the concept at this point in time. A couple other slides just to give you a sense of things, then I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them. This just gives you a little bit of sense of the grade, right? So that dotted line, right, this you don't notice, that's the grade now, right? So it's basically really, a flat kind of plateau that gets right out to the river, and then it drops off steeply, which is why you can't really get down there. So the main chunk of the money that would go into this project is to regrade it and pull that back so that you can get down there. The other reason that we're doing that is so that if anybody, when you go down that bike path and you kind of go under the railroad bridge and you emerge up and you get to that high point before you cross the road and get onto the bridge, right now most people, if it was your first time out there, you wouldn't know that there's a river there. You can't see it from that point. The whole thing is being designed so as soon as you come up from under that railroad, you would, because of the regrading, you would see the river. And of course, when you see the river, what are you going to want to do? You're going to want to go down to the river, right? So we have this incredible resource, this beautiful, clean, clear river. And if we do build this thing, you can get to it, right? So that gives you a little bit of sense of the regrading. Aaron, if you get, I think I just have one more slide to share. This is just some of the elements that the designers that we hired are sort of imagining. Again, this is all very high concept. Things can change quite a bit, but just to give you a sense of what the amphitheater might be built from, and its size and shape and that kind of thing, and the various materials that might be used at the riverfront itself. So just so you have a sense of that. I think that was my last slide. We can maybe go back to the yeah, right there, maybe back even one more. The next steps, right, of the project are to do the deeper design, right? And we priced that out to hire a consultant to come in and, facilitate a process, not just with this group, but with the campus writ large, and emerge from that with, with design documents that you could actually take to a builder. That next phase is like a $200,000. And then we have rough cost estimates for what this whole thing would be to build. It's somewhere in the 4 to 6 million range. It's not cheap. It's not cheap by any stretch. It's a major project, and I am here to basically start to see what with this drawings that we have to try to get a feel for the interests that students and other constituents around the community might have. So try to get a feel for the interest in pulling together a coalition to fund a major initiative, which I think is really exciting. So I'm happy to take a few questions if you have.
Thanks so much for sharing. We'll open it up for question back about the proposal center.
Yeah, so are there currently any like major donors that are interested in such a project?
No, the short answer is we are just starting. We're literally starting that right here, right now. So that is the next phase, right? So take this out there and see. We've talked to the foundation folks, so they're aware of this project, so that if they think they might have somebody who's interested, they have these documents, they can take it to them, but I haven't heard anything back from them yet. I've registered it with Ducks Give, there's that initiative that comes up in another few weeks. Here talking to you all, some other folks on the list, but early in the, if we got lucky, we could build this out in the next 2 or 3 years, but it might be 10 or 15 years, right? Who knows?
Yeah. I was going to say, I feel like ASUOs in the future, I don't want to speak for them, but I feel like they will want to fund this, at least a portion of it. I think the real challenge is going to be like, where does the rest of it come from? Thank you so much for your presentation. It was very concise. I love the little zoom in aspect of it. Thank you. I yield.
Senator Chisholm.
Really great idea, but I just have one concern, and you mentioned both. So I guess I'm just seeing like in
great question, and the design team thought about that. I think the impact to like the river itself is fairly minimal. The bigger impact that all that activity would have would be on that site, right? We would anticipate on a beautiful day, like maybe like today or a little deeper into the spring, lots of people would go down there, right? And then it might start to feel a little crowded, and then people might say, you know what, I think I'm going to scramble up over here to get a better view, and that starts to impact the vegetation. So there are thoughts and concerns about that kind of impact, which is why in that last slide I showed, there was ideas about sort of hardscaping it, with rock and that kind of thing, so that the impact of your feet on that, you kind of see would be much less, than if it was at that location natural. So that's one thought that folks had. And the other thing is that the reality is, right, on a warm day in the spring or certainly in the summer, like hundreds of students, you can see them going across the street with inner tubes and that kind of thing. And they're scrambling down wherever they can get to the river. And that impact is already there. And it's much more if you offer people a place where it's designed to get them to the river. So we're trying to create a thing that's actually less impactful than what currently happens, safer, more welcoming, accessible for a lot of folks, meant to be an improvement at the end of the day. There's no way to eliminate the impact, but we think it would reduce it from where.
I'm not super familiar with all the UFOs like reconstruction or redevelopment plans, but with like more people coming to the river, crossing Franklin, are there plans to make crossing Franklin like any safer? Is this like a place the students are going to be like attracted to spending time at?
Oh boy, that's a great question too. I'm not the expert on that, but there is and you could easily invite here to give a presentation. There's a major initiative taking place. It's spearheaded by the city on Franklin Boulevard, including the frontage on past the university base. So it starts basically the university, it goes all the way up to I-5. they're gonna start implementing that work in the next year or so. They are consulting with U of O, staff. I'm not very much involved in that, but there's gonna be bike lanes on both sides. There currently aren't now at all. There's gonna be roundabouts, which are meant to be safer for crossing. And I know that much, but I'm not that much involved beyond that.
Thank you. Yeah. Did we have any more questions for Steve? Well, we'll send you more feedback as it comes over the next few weeks, but thank you Senator Smith.
I just want to say, I think this is really cool. Like when I used to go to the river, it was a little treacherous spot I would go to. So that would be pretty cool. And I know like even not the classes that you listed, like I've been there a couple times for an earth science class, and I think this would be helpful for the class because I know a lot of classes go down there. Yeah, I think it's a really cool idea that I really support and vocally support as a senator. Thank you.
And anecdotally for me too, like I definitely like spending time by the river, and I ride my bike over there, and it's hard with the steep river bank. Like I usually leave my bike up on the top of the bank and then go down, and it's kind of scary. But yeah. We'll send you more feedback over the next few weeks to talk about it. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
In the financial business for the night, currently surplus is at $228,358. Unallocated reserve is at $13,108. And then we'll start with transfers with Sigma to a Delta. And then from Sigma to a Delta.
Hello, I'm here from Sigma Tau Delta. I am the treasurer, and the request that I am submitting is a transfer request from one line item to another line item. Our prior treasurer had made an incorrect title to a line item for our annual convention. He had titled it the 2025 Sigma Tau Delta Convention at Pittsburgh when that was our last year's convention, and this year's convention is the 2026 Sigma Tau Delta Convention in New Orleans. And so I am submitting this transfer request to transfer $3,200, the original amount in that line item, into the new line item titled 2026 Sigma Tau Delta Convention in New Orleans to be $3,200.
Thank you so much. We'll open it up for questions, and we'll start with Senator Vidariaga.
Okay, yeah, I just thought that's straightforward, so I'm gonna just put a motion on the table. I move to transfer funds within organization Sigma Tau Delta, OS number OS247I from existing line item Sigma Tau Delta Convention at Pittsburgh to new line item 2026 Sigma Tau Delta Convention in New Orleans in the amount of $3,200.
Motion made by Vidariaga, seconded by Perez.
Oh, I yield.
Moving forward in discussion, we'll start with Senator.
I was gonna make the motion. I yield.
Senator O'Neill.
Hi, thank you for coming in. I was just wondering if there's a specific reason why y'all are naming the line items so uniquely, because like I know it makes a lot of sense for pulling out money, but it might be a good idea to just transfer it to a line item called convention. That way it can just stay the same year to year and not be so hyper specific. But is there a specific reason why you're doing that?
I was only doing it just to reflect this current one to be accepted, but for years moving forward, we're going to be renaming it just to be convention.
Okay, yeah, I think that definitely sounds like a very good idea. Right now we could also alter it just to be named convention, unless it's a bit too late and you've already filled out your POs with that original name, because if there's any leftover money, it's always nice to just have that there, you know.
Yeah, if it was just renamed to convention, that would be totally fine as well.
Senator Heffernan, are you okay with that? Oh, Vidariaga. Yeah.
Okay. I move to amend. Can I yield? Okay. I move to amend the line item from 2026 Sigma Tau Delta Convention in New Orleans to Sigma Tau Delta Conventions.
Motion made by Dariaga, seconded by Peters. We'll vote on the amendment. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. All right, the motion is amended. So currently we are getting rid of the date. Senator Peters.
I just wanted to let y'all know, I just checked your budget request for this year and your convention line for next year's budget is called 2026 Sigma Tau Delta Convention in New Orleans. So I would recommend leaving notes for next year's treasurer so that you don't run into this
Yeah.
problem next year.
I'd planned to do that. I made that request accidentally when I just assumed that past years was correct. And for future years, I will be trying to amend that for the next treasurer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then we will move to vote now. Okay, we will go by roll call. We will start with Perez. Peters.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
O'Neill.
Aye.
Taylor. Smith. Broussard. Cofferdam. Peppermint.
Aye.
Amodife. Jenkins Hiscox.
Aye.
Chisholm. Stevenson.
Aye.
Purdue.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye by proxy.
Aye.
Aye. Morel. Madariaga.
Aye.
Westenberry.
Aye.
Ludeman.
Aye.
And I say aye as well. Thank you so much for coming. Forward. We'll now hear the request from Latinx Law Student Association.
Hello, everybody. Can y'all hear me well?
And indeed.
My name is Percy Alvarado. I'm a co-director of finance for the Latinx Law Student Association. We're requesting also a transfer from one line item to another, as well as the creation of a new line item for existing funds. We'd like to transfer everything out of the diversity panels line item. We'd like to transfer $220 out of that line item into a new line item named apparel, and $930 from that line item to the recruiting student events existing line item. We're planning to use the apparel funds to pay for graduation cords and stoles, and we're planning to use the other money for tabling events and having snacks as well as our election event coming up. And a little bit of explanation. With the diversity panels line item, we attempted earlier, much earlier to get a panel of attorneys, and unfortunately we weren't able to contact any that were available. And after that, since then, there's another law student association, the Immigrant Law Student Association, as well as the Public Service and Policy Program, that have put together panels with immigration attorneys and topics that we had intended to use those funds for. And so we'd rather use those funds for the remainder of the year for recruiting more people and setting up tabling events and trying to get people to run for positions during our elections than just let the money go to waste.
Awesome. That makes perfect sense. And thank you so much for coming and attempting to transfer your money. Very responsible, you guys. Do we have any questions? Starting with Senator Westbury.
Hey, Percy, I think this is great. I was talking to Isabel about the graduation stuff. It sounds very exciting. So I'm very excited for all the three of us graduating. And I'm going to go ahead and make the transfer motion. I move to transfer funds within the group Latinx Law Student Association OS number OS052 from diversity panels line item to new line item named apparel in the amount of $220, and from diversity panels line item to recruiting student events line item in the amount of $930 for a total of $1,150.
Second, Madariaga.
Motion made by Questenberry, seconded by Dariaga. If we have no more questions, we'll go to vote. Start with Perez. Peters.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
O'Neill.
Aye.
Taylor. Smith.
Aye.
Broussard. Cofferdam.
Aye.
Heffernan.
Aye.
Amodife. Jenkins Hiscox.
Aye.
Chisholm. Stevenson.
Aye.
Purdue.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Haley.
Aye.
Morel. Madariaga.
Aye.
Questenberry.
Aye.
Ludeman.
Aye.
I say aye as well. Congratulations. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for your time.
Then moving into our surplus requests, we have the undergraduate anthropology club. Do we have any reps for undergraduate anthropology club? Let's make a motion. Senator Mariaga.
I move to table undergraduate anthropology club.
Motion made by Fisher, seconded by Taylor. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. And the request has been tabled. Moving forward in the agenda, we have the Coalition Against Environmental Racism.
We start carrying.
Oh yeah, good. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Alex. I'm one of the six co-directors of the Coalition Against Environmental Racism. My specialty is finance. And yeah, I brought two of our most active members with me because it's really introduce you. Hi, my name is Omar. I use the pronouns.
And I'm Aaliyah and I use any pronouns.
Yeah, so we are requesting funds for our Decolonize Earth Day Festival, which is happening on April 21st. Aaron, like what? Yeah, but some of you must be wondering, so what is CARE? So CARE is a student organization committed to bringing the light between the connections between the struggle for social and environmental equality. CARE has a dual mission of educating the kids community and the Eugene community at large about environmental racism and building networks within Eugene and the university to foster more community engagement and activism for the liberation movement by eco-education, eco-abolition, and eco-decolonization. Environmental racism emphasizes that exploited communities of color are often targeted by racist governments, policies, and private interests which refuse to involve them in the decision-making processes usually. Yes. And you must be wondering, Alex, why are you playing this best? Yes, and I'll answer. So Earth Day for too long has ignored the multicultural communities and other marginalized people who call this planet home. With their perspectives often not being heard, these groups often face their own set of environmental challenges and bring valuable insights on sustainability and cohesion, yet their voices and contributions often get sidelined in mainstream environmental talks and projects. The lack of this inclusion means that their experiences and unique solutions aren't given the attention that they deserve, which can make Earth Day events fall short in addressing their specific needs and instead focusing on Greek colonialism and sustainability. There's a couple more videos from your other students saying that you also go. Look. yes, shout out to them. So yeah, I'm gonna give you a bit of a rundown of how the event will work, and these are just a small fraction of the orgs that are tabling. There, more to come. So how the event will work is that there will be a SIM card system similar to the Swana Bazaar and ASUO Night Market, where the participants will go around going to different tables, learning facts about the orgs and about the activities that they're hosting, and also participating in a short activity in order to, I guess, get a stamp for food or drink. And yeah, there will be fun activities. There will be a book swap or clothing swap, and also an opportunity to go thrifting. And that is our budget. On the left side is food, and the right side is the other expenses for event scheduling, a canvas from the drugstore, the photo booth that we'll be having, and at the end on the right side is the grand.
Thanks so much for sharing. Seems like a really cool event. I love that you're collaborating and it's in the EU Green. I was curious, how many people are you expecting?
I talked to who is our events director, and we said probably around like 200 students will probably stop by fully to participate in the activity.
Is that request period?
It sounds like a great activity, a very important thing for the campus to come and participate in. I have a question. There's a difference of $20 between the Engage form and what's on the slide. Should I go with the higher by $20 on Engage or go with what's on the slide?
Yeah. I think probably. So yeah, also by, I guess, our best director, I guess, to round it up. But if you guys don't feel comfortable with the, I guess, back for $20, you can go down.
I think we can handle the $20. Use it responsibly. All right, I move to authorize spending from Coalition Against Environmental Racism, OS number ON025, in the amount of $4,430 to line item for any vegetable. Second, Peters.
Motion made by Vice Mayor, seconded by Peters. Did we have any more questions? Nope. And with Chris, Peter.
Aye.
Aye.
Neil.
Same.
Taylor. Broussard. Aye. Opperhead. Heffernan. Almodive. Jenkins Hiscox. Chisholm. Stevenson.
Aye.
Purdue. Smith.
Aye.
Bailey.
Aye.
Wells. Mary Huckett.
Aye.
Westonberry.
Aye.
Ludeman.
Aye.
Nice high as well. Congratulations.
Question for Xander. When can I expect it to hit our legend?
By Monday. Okay, then go later at the latest, yeah.
Thank you.
Next up, we have ourselves, the ASUO Senate, so we'll have Xander go up there and present us. Senator President.
Guys, long time no see. I am requesting $700 for Senate. We're doing the legislative branch dinner, which is gonna be around $750. We already have $600 in our assembly line item, which should cover the food. We do Taste of India, and we have 31 people in ledge. I'm looking for 40. I don't know if the exec's gonna come in, leech off of us. They're too cool for Senate. But it's always nice to have more. And when I called, the quote was around like 550, so it should be no more than 600. But the route is 150 for the longhouse. Erin was helping with that, got that figured out. Thank you. And then so 150 would be for that. We're also doing graduation souls. I did a head count. We're around like 16-ish. And we have already a couple from last year. And so they're around $28 a piece. And I was gonna do the whole 16 just to like cover some leeway. If we have extra, we could save from next year or what, or if when we do the order, give the money back to surplus if there's that much. But yeah, that's kind of the breakdown. So it would be 152 assemblies and 552 schools. Any questions?
I think I'm presenting up there. How are we even allowed to vote on it?
Like technically, Xander's the chair of the rules committee, and whenever Senate wants to request money for itself, it goes through rules committee, and then like it comes here because it's the and finance committee. So like this committee, Xander sets our own budget too for Senate. So like it is.
The rules committee.
Be good.
So how many extra stalls will there be? Reduce.
Probably around like 3 or 4. It'd be around 13 from no, it's around like 10 or 11 from Ledge. And last time I talked to them, they have 7, but their last head count was 10 people. So they need 3 more regardless, and then we need around 11, so that's already 14. And just have like a couple extra, so that's why I put around 15.
Okay, deal.
And I could copy the.
Wait, doesn't it say 2026 on the stalls? Like some stalls say that you.
I don't think so. I think they just say ASUO and then have the patch.
There's some stores the duck store sells, and I think that those ones have dates on them. The duck store sells them because they'll have the department ones too.
Well, it's just like also I know like the Asian club ones also have ears. So I don't know. Well, I will not be wearing a stole, so if you'd like to take one off, then that would be good. Just in case there's a year on it, don't want to waste. I yield.
That was another thing I was actually gonna say was I did forget to tell Xander before he sent out the poll is if you are receiving a stole from another board, technically I believe your cap for like gifts you could receive from your board is $50. So you can't take 2 stoles from your boards. So you'll have to like decide if like one of your boards is giving you a stole per kid. That's
Yeah, we could put out a poll and like, yeah, if you don't want one, or like what Quaidrew said, it's like overlapping. We could figure out. Case scenario, we could have more here or.
Okay, a couple questions. First, does that thing count as your department or no? Giving you a stall? Okay. You have to yield for days. Okay. And then I just wanted to say that the 150 for the longhouse is to pay some of our student stewards to be there if we're gonna be there on a weekend. And we don't, we're not open on weekends, so. They're super. And they're going to do.
And the reason I don't think you have to deal with it, like this is something I told Xander to look into because I feel like if you guys should have schools. I'm not graduating this year. I won't be having a school. I just feel like think if the exec branch is getting schools, I feel like you should get schools too.
I really want to still
Senator Stevenson.
Yeah, this is a hyper specific question, but because the BSU stalls are free, is that applied?
The BSU pay for them though.
No. Like our like as far as we've had like stalls, like we've had stalls in the room and it's just like the same like over and over. They've had stalls in the class.
Let's just say you're good, but I would follow up with Ken afterwards. Just make sure we're good.
I yield to Senator Peters.
I just want to clarify about the stalls because I know Dustin said the other day that exec had enough their line item to pay for ledge and exec. Is that not happening anymore? We're paying for execs in ours.
Yeah, there's this whole thing about like the design and us doing separate ones, and I talked to them today. They're just the same regardless. I think I don't know where the miscommunication came from, but really we were doing our own thing separate from exec. But once you sent me the link, I was just gonna copy their design regardless. So they're all gonna be the same. I would just together because we need more anyways. So might as well just go and like.
When I first found out about the goals, like, oh, is there any left? And they're like, oh, they're out. You'll have to get some. So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry if I misunderstood. These stools are for individuals like to keep. Okay, would it be an option to just like get 10 to sit in the office? Cause like I know I don't personally, I have all my undergrad regalia and it's collecting dust. So if I were to get a stool, I'd much rather just borrow it from the office and like check it in and check it out for photos and for the actual ceremony. So is that something we could like think about as an option?
So we have something laying around, or like for next year, if they want something to like go off of, they have that.
Okay.
So yeah, we should whether like people opt out or don't want one, then that's just even more to have around.
Because that could also get around the issue of if you're getting a stool from a different org, if you're just borrowing the one and then we keep it in a safe spot, you can sign it in and out. Um, I would be personally very interested in that, so I'm happy I don't graduate till next year, so this doesn't apply to me either. But I think that would be something that we could pursue with the extras that you have. And then this is also a very specific question, but I know the senator who held the seat before me, Emily Cole, is graduating this year and has expressed a desire to have a stool. Can I direct her to you, or is that something we should just?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, well, I make the motion just to get it on the floor. I want to make sure I have the right amount of the line items for that.
No, it was like
They just wanted it happen. Okay, I moved authorized spending from surplus to ASUO Senate OS 086I in the amount of $150 to existing line item ASUO assemblies and the $550 to new line item graduation stools in the amount of $700.
Motion made by Questenberry, seconded by Peters. Board discussion. Second by Burnett.
Ethan, thanks for being here. I really want a stool. I'm wondering if the poll that you did is like that thing you sent in the chat. I was in the bathroom part of this. I'm sorry if you already answered this, but was it just that thing you sent in the chat about graduating this spring?
Yeah.
Is there going to be another like thing you can fill out, or are you just going to be reaching out to like all the seniors?
Yeah, I'll definitely do both. I just wanted to head count first to see because I know exec had some lying around now from last year.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to gauge if that was enough or not. But yeah, I'm gonna set up a poll and then see who wants one, who does it, and then reach out again to like make sure we put it in that fund.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to know what to keep my eye on. Thank you. Thank you.
So I was wondering, what if instead of getting all stools, you could also get one of the graduation gowns, but then it could be like ASUO's gown, like the 5'4" to 5'7". I really don't want to buy that stuff, but don't you think it'd be better if we just have to be wearing that? Can't we get gowns too?
I don't know.
So there's like a symbolic difference.
All difference I have no idea.
Okay, that's maybe. I mean, with like a cord would be cool. I think it's better than a stole. Like it's just gonna say like ASU on the head up. ASU circles and boop.
I love it.
It's like legislative.
No, but when I put out a poll, if that's what we want, then or Senate, we could figure something out.
If we want to do like a collaborative design for Ledge, we can do that too.
Yeah.
That's something interesting. But definitely if it's our increasing price.
Full overview says that stoles are like for clubs that you're in, like you are, and boards are like academic achievements or what you did. But that's like very vague.
I do have ASUO cords. They're universal red and blue cords that signify that you're an elected member of student government at your school. They're universal. Not sure how many there are, but like I know we have some of those. I got
There's a bucket thing.
Oh, okay, that's what I want.
There you go.
Sorry.
I think you stole some lit now. Huh? I think you stole some lit, and I want one.
Are you graduating today? No. Next year.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've had a cord for some time. They're the difference is also that cords are specific to university, like specification. Yeah, I yield.
List. On the floor, $700. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion is approved.
Thank you guys.
I'll try to. Those wish to abstain.
Aye.
The updates now, our finance committee, starting with PFC Chair Senator Peters.
Hey y'all, the really quick PFC update is we're doing our end of year meetings. If you're in for, we're just put it in our recommendation hearing from their pack pretty soon. These are just meetings where we're checking in, how did the year go, asking for some feedback. We're also this year doing something new. We're sending confirmation emails of how much their budget is so that we have documentation of that. So very exciting stuff. Yeah, nothing else big for PFC. Starting to work on transition. For Overrealized, just a reminder that the form closes on April 15th. If you're in the committee after April 15th, I'll be reaching out for us to have our probably last meeting of the year to evaluate all of the forms. So super exciting. April 15th at midnight. Please tell everyone you can about it. Again, I've only got 13 applications. And I would love anyone who's not affiliated with ASUO to fill it out. Okay, and then Erin, if you'll pull up what I sent you. So how about the luau one first? So just a reminder again. So first do the luau poster. So just a reminder that the luau is on May 2nd at MacArthur Court. It starts at 5 o'clock. It's super exciting. You all saw them come and ask for money twice, and I would again like to see all of you here. You can buy tickets in the UO Ticketmaster thing. They're $20 for students, and then I think once the food tickets sell out, there'll be like floor tickets for like $8 or something. But the food's really good. It's Hawaiian food. There's going to be performances, Hawaiian dances, and also dances from people from the Pacific. Super exciting. They have been working really, really, really hard on this, and I would really love to see y'all there. If you go to the next one, Erin. Speaking of the luau, they are seeking volunteers. If you go to their Instagram, you can go to their link tree and find the link to fill out a form for volunteers. You get a free ticket to the luau, so $20 value basically. And again, would love to see all of you volunteering here. And Olivia told me, little birdie said that if you volunteer at luau, it counts for your office hours. So I'd really love to see all of you volunteering at luau. And then the last thing is that we've officially done the poster for the Mother's Day powwow. Beautiful poster. So Mother's Day powwow is May 8th, 9th, and 10th. Same deal. If you volunteer, I'll come next week with the volunteer forms. But please save the date for this. This is 58th Annual Mother's Day Powwow. It is a Oregon Heritage event, which the state of Oregon says represents what it means to be an Oregonian, the only event hosted on the University of Oregon campus that has that distinction. This is the largest Indigenous event held on campus. This is also the largest student-run powwow in the Northwest. We've been working really hard on this, and it's going to be a great weekend. We're going to have like 50 vendors. And this is my baby, so I would really love to see all of you here again with this one. And then when I come for asking for volunteers, I'd really love those of you who are student workers to volunteer, because those are the only people who can handle money at this event. So I need volunteers who can handle money. So if you're a student worker, I don't know, it's a rule. Yeah, you just have to be an employee of the university. So if you are a student worker and you're free May 8th or 9th, volunteer at the powwow pretty please.
Do you have a need for non-student workers too?
We also have a need for non-student workers, but every year I don't have enough people who can handle money, and that has to be me. So I'm trying to build up that. But we need volunteers for a bunch of stuff, and if you are there volunteering, even if you're not volunteering and I need help, I'll come up to you and ask you to go. So pretty please come. This is our biggest event of the year, and also go to Luau. Yes, Bridget.
What do you do there? What did I get?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Powwows are they're a dance competition and also a cultural event. So the main thing of powwow is that we have a bunch of different Indigenous dancers in their traditional regalia come out and do competition dances in their different styles. So things like fancy dance, these are gonna, but we've got traditional drummers. We bring about 5 drum groups to campus from all over the valley, and then they do traditional drumming, and then we have traditional dances, and then on Saturday we actually have competition dancing for the specific categories. It's super, super exciting to see. We've got some super, super great dancers from all over the Northwest.
My mom loves dancing, so
yes, it's a unique event and super exciting. Any more questions about how? Wow.
Contracts Finance Committee Vice Chair, Senator Taylor.
How's it going? We didn't meet this week as we were waiting for some feedback on the RFP, but not much has changed since last week on that. We're still working on getting interviews set up and are working on being as thorough as possible in that process. We're still also trying to find a home for the legal services money, as well as working on getting some OSA funding. So that'll be coming up later. And that's all of them. Yes. Thank you.
Department Finance Committee Chair.
So we haven't met yet, but we're meeting this Friday. It's gonna be 3:45 to 4:45-ish in the lightning room. It's just downstairs on the first floor. We're meeting with the department head of the basic needs program to talk about a funding request. We're doing some work on adding the libraries as a department under DFC, starting our transition documents, and talking about some bylaw changes. So if you want to stop by and hang out with us, feel free to do so. And yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Going into Senate executive updates, Academic Chair Stevenson.
Yeah, before I start, actually, I would like to ask Senator Hofferday to go over what happened in Faculty Senate and the votes that transpired earlier today.
Yeah, so Cole, Quadrian, Jess, and Senator Questenberry. I don't know why I first named all of you and then not say Sarah. Sorry, that was crazy. All sit as student senators on the UO Faculty Senate. Today we had the vote on a resolution that I helped co-author about adding 2 additional students to the University Appeals Board. University Appeals Board, as we talked about when we passed this resolution, basically does appeals for student code of conduct cases, which cover anything from academic misconduct, sexual misconduct, to misconduct that is like surrounding student protest, lots of different things.
And if you want to appeal your case, right now, only 3 people sit on that board. One's a student, one's a faculty member, and then one is either a faculty, staff, or student member. So this passed today, barely, by one singular vote. But we're super excited. I think we all kind of know, I talked about this in UO Senate today, like resolutions are just a piece of paper. They are just saying that we believe in this and approve this idea. So there's a lot of work that's going to need to be done still, working with the Dean of Students and upper admin really doesn't like this idea. They're really worried about students not being considerate of other student privacy when handling these cases and handling really sensitive information, which students do all the time, as many of us in this room know, who are student workers. And yeah, we're really excited to keep working on this for the rest of the year. It's going to be a project for several of us who have written this resolution to now start trying to set up some of these meetings. Luke Fauché and Blaise Malcheski are in the executive branch, are going to be a huge part of that as well. I don't know if there's anything else you want me to add. All right, back to Cole.
Senator Bailey, do you have any updates for Senate or no?
Oh, so sorry. Okay, there's this happened like at 4:49 p.m. today. Declan Zupo asked me to co-sponsor / endorse a talk as part of the Hopes Conference. Hopes Conference is something that happens every year. It definitely stands for something. Holistic options for planet Earth sustainability. So, but Street Roots is coming, and Street Roots is awesome. So I'm gonna figure out how to help Declan make SOJC people know about this, because it's not very clear on how to do that. I made a whole document on how to do that. So that's gonna happen once he sends me the files. But there's a bunch of other stuff happening as part of that conference. It seems like a good lineup this year. There's an Instagram. I can put it in the Senate chat. Yup.
Thank you very much. Senator Madariaga.
Okay, guys, on May 2nd at 10 a.m., so it does not conflict with the the university is doing the Out of the Darkness walk, so it's like suicide prevention. All the money goes towards the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. So it's a fundraiser. I believe it's free to register. Yeah, it's free to register, but you kind of create your own fundraiser page and try to get people to donate. So I encourage everyone to sign up for this. I'm currently trying to get out of work to do it. So yeah.
Senator Chisholm.
Update on community collaboration. We're meeting on Wednesdays at 12 in the MCC, and we just gotten geared up for spring. I think it's going pretty well. We're still meeting with all the many organizations, it's a lot of them. But yeah, I guess I was kind of thinking the information that I'm getting from the groups, would y'all rather be presented to us, but we can't really do anything because the year's ending, or should I just leave it in documents?
I think it would be helpful to present it to us, but it would also be really helpful for next year's PFC if it could be in some sort of documentation so that we can also go over that, like in our transition document, and specifically I could go over it with next year's chair.
Yeah, I think it's fun. So if anybody wants to stop by, y'all totally should. It's very chill. We're just meeting students, talking about it, and just making presence in the MCC. Yeah, I hope.
And yeah, I recently learned how to use the Slack, and I'm going to create an AC transition doc, which hasn't ever been in there. It's just been a doc as far as I understand. But other than that, Carl Scholes learned that there's a vote of no confidence today. There was no response other than athletics makes a lot of money. Trying to think about other things from Faculty Senate. I presented on Latin Cultural Center, and there was about 22 minutes of deliberation before we vote on it in the next meeting. Pop out to that if you guys want to. It's very nerve-wracking to present to them. I did it after we created an envelope for Speaker Gill and Senator Hoffer did. And it was very, very nerve-wracking. And even though there's senators that support it, there are senators that have questions of funding and things of that nature. AC will be meeting next Wednesday, and Costas, someone in exec, will be coming in to explain what we're going to be doing class wraps over. It's not going to be State of the Union. State of the University, yes. And yeah, thank you. I yield.
Quick correction. SharePoint says Slack.
Yes. Thank you, Paul.
Friday at 3 p.m. Yeah. I'm gonna drop something that it's gonna be letter delivery for the anti-ice pollution. Like a couple weeks now, last year, I don't know how weeks ago that was, but everyone that like in the center and was like really passionate about, like protecting students, wanting to make sure that school is doing their job of protecting us, and like we're having this vote about competencies because they're not doing that. So it's like really important to show that like we all still care. Like it's not just something that it's like a something that's only like for a term, but like something that we're going to continue to show up for. So yeah. Anyway.
Or we have Ahmed for Saturday.
Guys, 15 of you have not put your office in. That's a lot of you guys. Put it in, please, so that when I am reviewing and seeing if you went there, I have something to put it against. Otherwise, you won't get credit for showing up next week. Also, reminder, there are still 2 days left to flyer and table for ballot measure 7, the vote of no confidence. That will also count as your office hours. I would encourage you to sign up. Both links for flyering and tabling are in our Senate group chat from me and Max. And yes, Blue Out volunteering will count for your office hours. Just let me know that you signed up and when. And yeah, I yield.
That did you from me besides the West. Equals were updated. Lunch, dinner, option next Sunday on the 19th. More details coming soon. Hear from me or Aaron, but besides that, not much. I yield.
Also, we update, I believe, as just for more details, their reservation is between 4:30 and 6:30.
I was going to talk about US Senate a little bit, but also transition documents will be coming up soon. Aaron and I will be meeting next week to kind of talk about the process and work it out, and then we'll send things out to you guys because I'll have a kind of checklist for everyone for things I want documented for the next Senate. It's very important. We'll go to the executive branch update.
So one thing, the Oregon Student Association has found a parent organization to contract with, the United States Student Association. So hopefully that'll be moving along soon, which is very exciting. The LGBTQA3 is going to be having its first meeting of the year this Monday at 6 p.m. in room 101 library. I believe there will be food, and it should be. I don't know about that. It should be good. It should be good. It should be good. And then lastly, following up on the ballot measure, there's only 800 students have actually voted this election so far. There's only one full day left for people to actually get out and vote. So we really need do the phone banking, do the flyering during the day. Tomorrow it's the last like full day to do this stuff. So please go to that link in the Senate chat and find time to apply yourself to those tasks so that you'll actually get out. And this doesn't look like sort of a nothing burger from the students. We need to have a strong show of force from the students saying that it's an issue that they care about. More and please just an hour or two tomorrow. It's not that bad. It's nice and sunny out. Anyways, again, it's in the Senate channel. Thank you.
Jensen. Senator Smith.
I just had a question because I know like you can't endorse candidates in the class. Are you allowed to endorse them out in a classroom?
I don't know. So at most maybe you can see that happen, but that's
From my understanding, the ballot measures are treated like candidates, essentially. That concludes updates and questions.
Wait, so can we on Senate not say to vote for specific?
We can set because the executive branch is one of or the executive branch is the one like motivating for the ballot measure as members of ASUO and motivate the ballot measure, but like via Senate like without our Senate, but it's a weird gray area anyway, quite honestly, because we are like it says the plain text IB funded organizations. I would call it like the executive branch has been volunteering. I don't want to put my thumb on the scale of stuff too much, but the executive branch would like me to volunteer the theater desk, so I say it's all good. But moving forward, minutes. Motion.
And move minutes from April 1st, 2026.
Seconded by Motion made by Ludeman, seconded by motion made by Ludeman, seconded by. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Minutes are approved. Senator Peters.
To adjourn, second Fussner.
Second, there's Senator Peters. By Questenberry, those opposed say aye. Those opposed say nay. There's the warning.
Hi,